Hello everyone, Deb Floros for Art Beads. I've got 3 inches of this skull-shaped dangle chain, and there are 2 little dangles of skulls on each one of those chain links. I've got 3 inches, and I've got these amazing prestige 12 millimeter coin crystal pearls, and I want to make a really fun, spooky bracelet. Now, I picked out a charm, but I'm not sure I'm going to use it, so we'll see. I've got some 22 gauge artistic wire, and this is tarnish resistant brass. It's great, solid wire for this type of wire wrapped bead project. So I'm cutting a number of pieces of the wire. I like to pre-cut when I'm organized enough to do so. So I cut enough pieces that I'm going to need for my bracelet. And sometimes I cut a little bit more just in case I decide to switch up my design as I go. Now, I want to split out that chain into 3 equal pieces. You can use a ruler or you can use a beading awl and kind of count out the links and separate based on the number of links. That's what I ended up doing because I wanted to make sure I had extra links to cut. These are not open links, so you will need to cut, which means you're going to sacrifice one little section of the chain. So I find the exact center, and then you've got a couple of those skulls that are loose. You could use them later or just use a jump ring to attach them back to your piece if you'd like. Now, I always like to test to make sure my beads fit onto my wire. Sometimes with pearls, faux pearls even, you find that they don't fit onto certain materials. So I double check that. And then I'm going to create a wire wrap loop and put my bead on, and then I'm going to grab a section of the chain, and I want to take the 2 skulls that are on the link and put them on either side. Then I'm actually going to wire wrap the bead directly onto that piece of chain, or I should say I'm wire wrapping the chain directly on to the bead. So I'm just wire wrapping, and setting the bead down and taking a look at how that looks. That could be an earring right there. Then I'm just going to do the same thing again, and I'm going to attach this to the other side of the chain. So I'm creating a wire wrap loop, adding the bead, creating the loop, and then finding that center point of that chain link, trying to get it so that the 2 little skulls will fall on either side. I don't know, I'm just kind of a nut about that. So I'm attaching that piece of chain, and then I'm wire wrapping on the piece, and I'm trimming off my excess. I'm using all Zuron tools here because I think they work great for this kind of delicate work, except for my round nose pliers, which are Euro tool. So I'm taking my next section and adding it directly to my bead, and then I'm taking just one end of a piece of my chain, so my second piece of chain, and stringing it right onto the wire, and then adding my bead. And what that's going to do is just create a little bit of a center focal, like a little dangle of skulls that will hang down. Then I'm wire wrapping that bead and getting my loop nice and open so that I can attach it to the next section of my chain. So my pattern is 2 beads in the center with an inch or so of that chain. Then 2 sections of the skull chain on either side, then a bead. And then I'll be able to start to measure out how this is going to fit me. So there I am wire wrapping onto the chain, and I like to do that directly. You could most certainly use jump rings if that's easier. Maybe that makes the project a little bit easier. You could attach all of the pieces with jump rings. So instead of wire wrapping the beads together, you could do wire wrap loops on either side of the bead and then connect them with jump rings. So here I am testing out the sizing. It's a little too small, but I like the way that dangle's going to work. So I'm just adding a bead at either end, so you'll have 2 beads towards the clasp. If you follow this same exact pattern I'm doing. Another option is you could also, rather than a dangle in the center, just add that piece of chain. Then you probably wouldn't need 2 additional beads at the end. That's another design option as well. So wire wrapping on that bead. Oh my gosh, I love black and gold together. This is so much fun. And I think I'm not going to use that charm. I'll use it for something else this season. So I've got a lobster claw. I'm going to attach that with a jump ring to one of my beads at the end. And then I'm just going to add a large jump ring onto my loop at the other end of the bracelet. I absolutely love this bracelet. It's going to be so much fun for the spooky season. It's a little bit sophisticated for the spooky season. You can find everything to make this fun bracelet at artbeads.com. I hope you'll give it a try. Thanks so much for watching.